And we're starting then by settling down into Shavasana, lying down. And arrange yourself in the most comfortable way you can. So that might be classic Shavasana. Maybe with a gap between the legs and the feet just flopping outwards, palms upwards. You might want to bring the heels together if that feels comfortable. Or you have the option of having your hands on your tummy and maybe even the feet on the mat. Perhaps just gently bringing the chin in. And begin to feel your connection with the surface beneath you. Start with your feet, noticing how the feet are. And then mentally scanning through the legs. And then especially feeling the connection that your pelvic area is making. So the back of the body, the bottom. Sinking down, letting gravity do its thing. Coming up through the torso again, taking note of any points where your back, your shoulders are connecting with the surface beneath you. Then bring your attention to your hands and noticing how the hands feel. Feeling the fingers softening and releasing and relaxing, especially if you've been sitting at a desk and working on a keyboard today. Coming up through your arms and back to the shoulders, and then think about the neck. And then just roll your head gently from side to side. Noticing how the neck feels, noticing how the shoulders feel. And then when you bring your face back to center, feeling the skin around the face nice and soft and loose. Perhaps wiggle your jaw from side to side just to release the jaw. Let the tongue be soft in the mouth. The cheeks feeling nice and soft, and your eyes sinking into the sockets. Forehead lovely and smooth. And now take note of how you're breathing. Don't change the breath at the moment, just notice how you're breathing. And then we're going to start to take control of the breath a little bit more. So take a deep breath out. And then as you breathe in, we're going to count that inhale. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. And then repeating in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. And then bring yourself through one more round on your own with your individual breath. So that might be faster, it might be slower than my count. This is the Savrishri Rhythm Pranayama, the one that's credited with being the very best for regulating our emotions and our minds. And when you finish that last round, without rushing to finish it, just let the breath settle into a natural pattern, promising yourself that you'll keep the breath nice and smooth and deep throughout the practice, judging the quality of your movements by the quality of the breath, and looking to unite body, breath and mind throughout the practice. We'll bring ourselves into some physical warm-ups next. So from where we're lying, we'll just start by circling the feet. So turning the feet in one direction and then turning them in the other direction, just circling them. And then just pedal the feet as well. And as we're going through these movements, noticing how each part of the body feels, the joints, the muscles, bringing your attention just briefly to any areas where you might feel a little bit tight or tense, and being mindful of those places and using the breath into those areas as we come through them. So it's quite nice to just breathe out if you do feel any parts of the body where it might feel a little bit tight or tender. Now, keeping the tummy engaged, breathe in, bring the right leg up and hold behind the right thigh. So we're keeping the head down and then circling from that right knee joint. Again, noticing how that leg is feeling, and especially how the knee joint is feeling. Now we're going to make that a bigger movement and then circle from the hip. So opening out that right hip, tummy still engaged, take it one way and then the other way, and then check how much space you have behind you. Breathe in, engage the tummy, bring your nose and knee closer together. Breathe out, release it away with the arms overhead and a nice big whoosh. Twice more, inhaling. 3 times in total. Lovely, and then bring your arms back down and we'll repeat on the left side. So bring the left leg up and circle from that left knee joint. Head stays down and then you're taking it in both directions. Then opening up from the hip, nice big circle, both ways. Inhaling, nose and knee together. Exhaling, release out. Twice more. And then once more. Bringing your arms down to your sides. And then bring your feet onto the mat with the heels as close as possible to your bottom. And I want you to keep the bottom nice and tightly engaged and the tummy nice and tightly engaged. If you want to, you can also just pull up the pelvic floor. We're going to come into Setu Bandhasana, which is bridge posture. So feeling your connection with the feet to begin with, breathing out, then as you breathe in, turning the pelvis first and coming up through the spine as high as you feel comfortable with onto your shoulders. Head stays in the middle. Breathing out, bring yourself back down. And if you want to, you can feel that you're breathing into each vertebra with the breath. So as though you're lifting up each vertebra one at a time. On the inhale, you're coming up. And on the exhale, coming down, just keeping the glutes nice and gently engaged, tummy, pelvic floor engaged as well. But the face and the neck are relaxed. 3 times in total as you lift up with the inhale, body, breath and mind together. You're coming up, and as you breathe out, bringing yourself back down. Now, cross your left leg over your right and bring your arms out to the side so that you're lying in a T shape. Tummy stays engaged, and you can either keep the feet on the floor, or if you know that the back is quite strong, lift up the legs from the mat. Then as you breathe out, take both the legs over to your right side, moving with that exhale, and your gaze goes over your left shoulder, so lying in a T shape if you have enough room. And then once more, feeling the effect that the breath might have on your spine. So maybe imagining that you're taking the breath into the discs and the gaps between the vertebrae, and that breath is lubricating them. Trying, if you can, to have both your shoulders descending as far as they can. Maybe they're both connecting with the mat, maybe they're not, and that's fine. Then as you next breathe in, bring both the legs back and put the feet briefly down on the floor. Then crossing your right leg over your left, either keeping the feet down or lifting them up once more. Breathe in, breathe out, and take the legs over to your left side. And as you do that, your gaze is coming over the right side, noticing the effect that has on your back, tummy still engaged, and using the breath to open out into this lovely posture, a version of Kati Chakra Kriya. And then as you inhale, bring the legs back over the body, uncross them, give them a lovely cwtch, as we'd say in Wales, give them a hug, bring your nose and knees together and just rolling around on your back. And now crossing the legs, holding the opposite feet. We're going to come up to sitting, so you can either just bring yourself up however you want or rocking up to sitting. Lovely. So this evening's practice is going to focus on the idea of balance and thinking about where that balance comes from. And it really does start with the way we ground. So grounding is very, very important in yoga. And we're just going to concentrate briefly on that idea of grounding before we come into some playful movements that play with balance and really make those connections as strong as they can be between the extremities of the body and the brain. So just sitting in cross-legged to begin with. And then I want you to bring your right hand behind you. Inhale and lift up the left arm. Exhale and bring that left hand onto the right knee. Breathe in, grow nice and tall. Breathe out, taking a twist to your right side. Now, as we're doing that, bring your attention to your sitting bones. And on each inhale, feel yourself growing taller and that growth starting from your sitting bones. As you breathe out, taking a twist. So the inhale is really lifting us up, and the exhale twisting, but also thinking about the connection with the earth. Tummy engaged. Breathing in, coming back to center. And then cross your legs the other way. And the left hand comes behind. Breathe in, grow nice and tall. On the right side, breathe out, bring your right hand to the left knee. Inhale, brings us up, and the exhale brings that twist. But I want you to think about the grounding connection that the tailbone and the sitting bones are making with the earth. And then each time we breathe in, we're growing taller and feeling that we're lifting ourselves up, not just physically, but mentally as well. Breathing in and coming back to center. Lovely. So we found out where our sitting bones are by thinking about them in that movement. We're going to play around with the sitting bones a little bit more. So make sure you have room behind you. We're going to come into boat posture, Navasana, and then just experiment with the balance in boat posture. So establishing where those sitting bones are and bringing the balance to those bones. Okay, so just moving around until you found them, and then just hold on to the legs, and then you can bring the feet up and notice how we need to steady the mind to help us with the balance. The balance in our brain is really connected with the body. If we find the mind is wandering too much, it makes balance much more difficult. And then bring the arms out. And come back down, give yourself a hug and rounding down over those legs. Lovely. And now see if we can bring the legs straight. So again, find the sitting bones first, steady the mind, steady the breath, and then bring the legs up straight if we can, and maybe float the arms away. Lovely. Tummy needs to be really strong to come into this movement. Navasana, boat posture. Exhaling, coming down, and again just round down over the legs. Lovely. And if you need to, just bring the legs up in front and give them a bounce. So if you want to, you can either repeat level 1 or level 2 of that, or you can come to Upavista Asana. So that's where the legs are going to open out. Okay, so to come into that one, we start off in the same way and start to balance. And then either take hold of the feet, or I find it easier with the big toes, and bring the legs up, or you can hold your trousers. And then maybe opening out the legs. So you will find it maybe it helps to feel that you're bringing your chest forwards here, so that the chest is opening out and almost coming through the legs. Make sure we're breathing. Smiling's optional. And then as you breathe out, bring the feet together and into Baddha Konasana. So like a butterfly, if you want to, you can just bounce the legs here. Lovely. And bring ourselves over onto hands and knees, Chatuspadasana. So tummy's engaged. We're going to come through Vyagra Pranayama. Breathing in, tipping the tummy down. The chest again comes forwards, as though it's coming between the arms. We look forwards, and as we breathe out, we're rounding up that back. Twice more. And 3 times in total. Body, breath and mind all together. Lovely. And next we're going to bring the legs into it. So breathing in, lifting up that right leg and looking forwards. Now while you're here, have a think about where your balance is. Concentrate on the points you're balancing on and just have a think about them. Breathe out and bring the nose and knee together. And notice if that balance changes at all. Twice more. 3 times. And then on the 4th time, extend the right leg out and the left arm comes up with the palm facing in if that feels okay. And you're looking slightly down and just feeling that balance again. Notice where the balance is and bring the arm down. And we're going to come into the opposite side with the left leg. So breathing in, lift up the left leg, looking forwards. As you breathe out, nose and knee together. 3 times in total. And then the final time, the left leg comes straight without rushing and the right arm comes up, noticing where that balance lies and the effect that the breath has on that. And then bring that down. Now, using the points we've just concentrated on, where the balance felt like it was, we're going to experiment with it. So find the balance on your left side, because what we're going to do is lift up the right arm and the right leg together. So not opposite, but the same side. So feel that you're coming over onto your left side balance. Play around with where the hand is. Bring the right leg up and then bring the right arm up. So giving ourselves a little bit more challenge. Noticing what we need to do with the mind and the body. And then come back down to the mat. And we'll do the same on the other side. So again, using the feedback that we developed initially with where we think that balance might be, bringing the weight onto the right side, the right hand, the right leg. Start off with whichever limb you think is best. I find the legs best, so bring the left leg up maybe, and then lift the arm up. And notice the micro movements that you need to make with the body as well. So we're engaging the muscles in a different way. We're making the brain work in a different way. And then on your next exhale, bring yourself back to hands and knees and then bring the bottom down to the heels. Extend your arms out in front of you. Forehead comes down to the mat. And direct your breath all the way down the back, all the way down the tailbone, down the spine, behind the neck and across the top of the head. Feeling the connection that your forehead maybe is making with the mat. If you're not reaching the mat, you can always use a cushion underneath the forehead. So the balance from 4-footed that we just experimented with is quite a nice one to try at different times of the day. So if you want to try that first thing in the morning and see whether that's different to the end of the day when your brain might be in a different place than it was first thing in the morning. And then coming back to hands and knees. So let's try the opposite leg and arm again and notice how different that is and how much easier usually. So just extend them out and just notice how that feels now compared to the start. Generally an awful lot easier. Back down, and the same on the other side. Lovely. And then back down again. Tuck your toes under, breathing in, lifting up, coming to Merusasana, high mountain, just pedaling the feet there. And then walk your feet to your hands. Okay, don't come up yet, just walk your feet to your hands. Then walk your feet back. Now walk your hands to your feet. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Then walk the hands forwards, back to high mountain, Merusasana. And now walk the feet and the hands together and meet in the middle. Let gravity take your upper body, bring the hands elbow to elbow and sway gently from side to side. Enjoy this inverted posture, the way that we're reversing a lot of our day-to-day movements. And then as you inhale, bring yourself up nice and slowly to standing and give everything a shake. Lovely. Bringing the arms out in front and making fists with your hands, then circling the hands. Now circle from your elbows, both ways, and then the shoulders. Lovely. And we're going to gather up all the negative energy that we might have carried around with us today and release it. So any hassles, stagnant energy, anything that's not serving you, gather it up quite vigorously, as fiercely as you want to. And then breathe in, bring it to your shoulders. Breathe out, let it go. And bring the arms down. Clasping the hands behind the back, tummy engaged. As you breathe in, pressing the shoulder blades together behind you and coming into a standing version of Bhujangasana, Cobra. As you breathe out, coming back up. Soften the knees, and this time bending forwards, bringing the head down. Lift the hands up as high as they feel comfortable behind you. As you inhale, lift up the chin and come back to standing. Next, we're going to concentrate on the foundations of our standing balances. So naturally, that's the feet. The feet are our foundation. So from where you're standing, feel that your toes are nice and spread out on the mat. Spread out as they can be. And then as we breathe in, the arms come wide and we rise up onto the toes. Arms up. As we breathe out, back down. Again, thinking about the micro movements that the feet are making to achieve this and how that transfers up through the legs and how much more settled we can feel by keeping the breath steady and strong all the way through. And again, inhaling, arms up, bringing the hands together if you want to, and breathe out and down. So come up onto the toes once more and walk around your space on your toes. Again, noticing how the balance is distributed and what happens in your muscles, your leg muscles. As you do that, now it transfers all the way up to the pelvis, the tummy, and beyond, and back down. And now do the same by walking on your heels. And next, if it feels comfortable for you, walk on the insides of your feet, so a bit like a duck. It's a very unnatural position. Only if it feels comfortable. Oh, doesn't feel awful anyway. It's not that comfortable. And now on the outsides of the feet. So if you've ever twisted your ankle, which I've done a few times, these movements are really, really good for building up the strength again and just making sure that all the parts of the feet and the ankles are exercising. And that's just great insurance as we grow older particularly, and a really good insurance against injury like twisted ankles. Okay, so have a drink because we're going to come into some sun salutations next. And what I want you to think about is, again, where the balance lies, and where that balance lies between effort and release. As you know, in yoga, we're trying to find the place where we're putting quite a bit of effort in. It's known as tapas, but we're also enjoying the release that yoga brings. So the concept of ridding ourselves of what doesn't serve us and everything that we're holding on to that we don't need anymore. So from where we're standing, Samasthiti Asana, palms face forwards to begin with. Relax the shoulders, tummy pulled in, chin just gently down. Then breathing in, bring the arms wide and up above, hands together. And if it feels okay, take a back bend and opening up. As you breathe out, bend your knees and bring your hands to the heart. So Utkatasana. And then breathe in again and lift your arms up. So we're in this chair posture. So this is a particularly good posture to find not only our balance, but also where the effort needs to be, and then how we can find some release in the posture as well. Generally, that's with the breath. Taking a few breaths here. Then as we breathe out, bring the hands back to the heart and fold down over the legs. Keep the knees bent as much as you need to bring the hands onto the mat. As you breathe in, look forward, straighten the back. Now we're going to come into plank next. So stepping back into your version of plank. So that can either be with the tummy up, nice and engaged, or you can bring the knees down if that's better for you. Taking a few breaths in plank. And we're going to come down with the chest and the chin to the mat next, so the bottom sticks up in the air. Make the elbows, draw the elbows in, the arms are strong, the upper arms especially are strong. Chin down. This is known as Bhumi Sparsha, so we're connecting with the earth and we're saluting the earth. As you breathe in, bring the chest through the hands. You can keep the toes tucked under, and then you can either enjoy the back bend here, make sure your tummy's nice and strong, or you can lift the thighs up and come to Kokila. Exhale, coming up. Once more, Merusasana, step the feet forward a little bit so that we can feel that lovely V shape that we're making, and then feel the length all the way down the spine. And once more, finding that area of effort and release. So we're not forcing ourselves into anything, but we are enjoying the strength building that comes alongside the release. Next time you breathe in, step or jump the feet to the hands, looking forwards. As you breathe out, rounding down over the legs, and then sitting back in that chair, bring the hands to the heart, lifting up, and then bring the arms up and coming up to standing. It's a sun salutation, so bending back a little bit if that feels okay. Feel that you're saluting the sun. And then as you exhale, bring the arms wide, bursting up into the sun, hands back to the heart. And we'll repeat that. So breathing in, arms wide, back bend. Breathe out into chair, Namaskar Mudra, hands to the heart. Then bring the arms up into Utkatasana. Breathe out, hands back to the heart, bending forwards, connecting with the earth, so feet and hands to the earth. Inhaling, look forwards. As we exhale, we can step or we can jump into plank and take a few breaths here. Enjoy the strength of this posture. The knees can always come down to the mat if you prefer. Then as you breathe out, bring the knees down. Bottom is going to be up in the air. Be strong with the upper arms. Chest comes down, chin comes down. And flow through to whichever back bend suits you, maybe Kokila with the thighs off the ground. So when we come up into Merusasana, we're going to use the Bhastrika breath, the bellows breath. Breathe out and come up into Merusasana. And then feel that you're expanding the lungs as much as possible. The diaphragm is expanding. And then we're going to breathe out explosively with the bellows breath, Bhastrika. Lips are pursed, Mukha Bhastrika. As you breathe in, step or jump the feet to the hands, looking forwards. As you breathe out, rounding down over the legs. Inhaling, you're going to bring the arms wide this time. Come up, hands together, back bending. And then as you breathe out, come up straight, bring the arms wide and hands back to the heart. And we come through one more round with some variation. Breathing in, arms wide, back bending. Breathe out, draw the hands down, sitting back. Then extend the arms up, turning this into a lovely flow. Breathing out, come back down, over the legs. Breathing in, look forwards. Breathing out, stepping or jumping to your plank. Just take a few breaths here. Okay, so we're going to come into side plank next, so another balance posture. Move your left hand more into your face and then bring yourself over onto your side. Now you have the option of bringing your right foot in front of you if you want to, and then lifting up the arm, or you can stack the feet on top of each other and come up to side plank from there. Find your balance. Use the front foot if you need to. Then coming back to plank and come the other way. So adjust the hand, looking upwards if that feels okay to you. Nice and strong in the abdomen. Use that top foot in front if you want to. Lovely. Bring the hand back down and bring yourself to Asana, high mountain. And just take a few relaxing breaths here. Then knees, chest, chin. And flow through to Kokila. And Asana once more. And Bastrika breath, that bellows breath where we're using the breath really explosively, the lips are pursed. Up to 3 times. Now, bring the right foot forwards between the hands, and then grounding the left foot behind you. Find the balance once more before we lift ourselves up. So we're lifting ourselves up, the arms above the head. Lovely. So warrior one. We're also saluting the sun here. So visualize that lovely warm sun above us. Then breathing out, draw the hands to the chest and open to your left side. So we're bringing the shoulder, the left shoulder round, and the body, the pelvis, the chest, the face is facing forwards. Inhale, coming into warrior two. Your gaze is over your right arm. Now, this is where we're seeking connection and strength. So, first of all, feel that connection that your feet are making with the earth. And in order to make the most of the strength, feel that the mat is really, really sticky. Your feet are stuck to the mat, but they're drawing together. And then notice the impact that has on the muscles in your legs, and transfer that impact all the way up to your bottom so that you're engaging the glutes, tummy's engaged, pelvic floor pulled up, and then the arms are lovely and strong as well. And notice what you have to do to keep those arms strong and relaxed. So we want the shoulders to be relaxed, but we want to feel that the arms are active. Now breathe in and bring the left arm down your left leg, coming into reverse warrior. Then breathe out and back to Virasana 2. And then bring your right arm down onto the floor. The left arm comes up. Taking some breaths there. And if you want to come into the bind, you can wrap the right arm underneath and bring the left hand behind you, and maybe the hands meet. Keep the breath nice and smooth. Now, bring your hands either side of the right foot. So we've established the strength in this posture. We're going to play around a little bit more with balance. We're going to come into warrior 3, or also known as Ekapada Asana, standing on one foot. Start walking your left foot in towards your right. And then when you feel that you can lift off, lift up the left leg behind you and walk the hands forwards. Then when you've arrived there, once more, like we did on the floor, start experimenting with your balance. So one arm at a time, maybe lift up the arms and see whether you can come into the posture when both the arms lift up. So using a bit of furniture is fine if you need that help. And once more, think about what you need to do to make the balance achievable. Don't forget, you can always bring one of the hands back down and just experiment with one arm at a time. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Lovely. Tummy engaged really helps. Keeping the breath smooth helps. Keeping the mind with the eyes focused is also helpful. And then feet come back down. And just coming into Hastapada Asana, hands to feet, a nice forward bend. We're going to come into the other side. So from where you're standing, step the right foot back, left leg's bent, hands to the heart, rising up, coming up into warrior one and saluting the sun. Breathe out, draw the hands down and open up to the right side. Extending the arms out, so feeling it flow. Gaze is over the left arm. Lovely. Breathing in, bring yourself back so that we're into a reverse warrior. So the right arm is down the right leg. Left leg is bent. Breathe out, back to warrior two. Left arm over left thigh, and either bring the right arm straight up, or you can enjoy that lovely line all the way down the right side of the body. Bring your left arm behind you, the right arm behind you, and the left arm comes down. And then if you want to come into the bound posture, as long as your shoulder's okay, arm tucks underneath, gaze is upwards. Lovely. Then bring the hands around that left foot. Find your balance. So rooting the left foot down is really, really important. Walking that right leg in until it naturally feels as though it's ready for liftoff. Okay, so nice and strong with the left leg, the standing leg. Knee can be slightly bent, that's always a help. And then experiment with your balance. Lovely. Then bring the feet back together. Once more, Hastapadasana, hands to opposite elbows, swaying from side to side. And nice and slowly rolling up to standing. Bring the shoulders back. And having a lovely loosen and release. So do have another drink. We've been working pretty hard here. Very warming. So we've been thinking about how strong those connections are between the different parts of the body and the different parts of the brain. We're going to put that to the test a bit, and as a way of, we've been working quite a lot with the shoulders, so we're loosening up the shoulders again. So bring both your arms out in front of you, and then just with your right arm, bringing it down and behind you and around. Just a few times. Okay, and then bring both arms out in front. So just the right arm that time. Now we're going to use the left arm. So from where you're standing, this time the left arm is going to go backwards first. So it's coming around and back. Lovely. Okay, and bring it back to the centre. Now we're going to do both. So the right arm will go forwards, the left arm will go back. How hard is the brain needing to work? Back to the centre. Okay. Now the right arm goes back and the left arm goes forwards. Again, what's your brain doing? What's that telling you? And then give the arms a shake. So if you found that your brain was kind of in a little bit of confusion with that one, again, it's a really good one to practice during the day. You know, when you're taking a screen break, just stand up, give yourself a shake, and maybe play around with that, because it's not just an arm exercise. It's resetting the brain, and it's particularly good if we've been involved in quite a lot of analytical work and we just need to unscramble the brain. It unscrambles those left and right energies. Lovely. So hopefully we're fully unscrambled now, and we're going to just come into a couple more standing balances before we come down to release and relax on the mat again. Bringing your weight into your left foot, where it'll be tree posture first. Find that balance once more and bring the right foot into your tree. So it often depends how slippery your leggings are. Maybe it's the inside of the thigh. I find if I'm going to bring my leg up higher, that half lotus is easier than inside the thigh. And then hands to the heart, noticing the work that that left foot is doing to help us with the balance. And then bring the arms up, Anjali Mudra. We'll come through some more of the mudras. So inhaling, bring the arms wide. Exhaling to the front, Agra Mudra. Breathe in back to the chest. And then controlling everything coming down. So we're not just flopping out of it, we're controlling it. Lovely. Weight comes into the right foot. Make that connection, feel your roots going down in tree. And then come to your tree posture. This is fine. You can even have the foot on the floor or on the inside of the thigh. Or if it feels okay, half lotus. And hands to the heart. Standing up nice and tall, remembering that trees do sway in the wind, and that's fine. And then the hands come up. Lovely. Thinking about the components we need to achieve balance. Breathing in, grow the branches. Breathing out, Agra Mudra with the hands to the front. Inhaling, coming back to our heart chakra and Hata chakra. And then releasing down. Lovely. So Garudasana, eagle posture, is said to be the ultimate balance to feel that we're fully connected with everything. Everything is said to be in our lives, is said to be completely in balance if we can come into Garudasana and stay there for a while. So once more, the weight's coming into the left leg. The right one comes across. Bend the left knee a little bit, and then wrap the right foot around the opposite thigh. Lovely. Now the left arm comes out, right arm up. Give yourself a hug. You have the option of staying there Or you can wrap the arms around like a cobra, like a snake, and then lifting up the arms. Actually, the legs of the snake is the arms that are the eagle. And then as you breathe out once more, controlling it out, coming down, just loosening off. And then we'll repeat on the other side. So feel that grounding on the right leg, right foot, roots coming down again. And either keeping the foot, the toes on the floor, or bend the right leg a little bit, wrapping around. Right arm comes out, left up, crossing over, give yourself a really lovely hug. Then wrapping the arms around if that suits you. And maybe lifting up the elbows. Keeping the breath nice and smooth. And exhaling, unwrapping. Just loosening off again, shaking. To the top of the mat. Inhaling, arms wide. And up. Exhaling, folding down over the legs. Onto your knees and onto your back. Bringing the legs over the body. Nose and knees together. Give the back a lovely massage, just rolling around. Now, bring your feet to the floor. And if it feels okay, bring the soles of the feet together so that the knees are coming out. And then again, if it still feels okay and you have the room overhead, bring your arms behind you and overhead so they're slightly bent, maybe as bent as they need to be, so that they're connecting with the mat. This is called Supta Baddha Konasana. It's said to be a really, really good posture for relaxation. So just take some breaths here. And once again, feel that connection. Notice everything that's grounding. Scanning through the body. Taking note of the breath, maybe comparing the breath to the start of the practice. And you have the option of either staying in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle pose, or coming back to whichever relaxation position you prefer. Maybe come back to Shavasana. It's entirely up to you. So drawing your attention to the breath, we're just going to count the breath again. Breathe out and breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Count one more round in your own time. And then you can either continue with the count or you can let the pattern fade and you're releasing fully into your relaxation at the end of the session. Remembering to bring yourself nice and slowly and mindfully out of it when you feel that you're ready.